What do you get if you mix Peter Pan and a financial planner? That's the question we're going to be answering today on Brand Tales.
Brand Tales, all your brand tales. Listen to how the greatest brands came to be.
Hello and welcome to Brand Tales. This is Holly Chantel, your host and the founder of The Land of Brand. And I am so excited that you are here today. Thank you for joining us once again. And if you have been leaving reviews in iTunes, I just want to say thank you so much. We appreciate and read every single one. And I'm so excited to be sharing my guest with you today. He's someone that I just met recently. And even though we've kind of been in the same circles for the last few years, he is fantastic. His name is Justin Krane, and he's a financial planner. He works with small businesses, so he has all kinds of awesome advice for you. He got his start working for large financial firms in New York and has been featured in Entrepreneur Magazine, CNN, and he's just a fantastic guy, and I'm so excited to share him with you. He has a very holistic approach to finances. So it's not just focusing on your business and gains and losses, but really focusing on your whole financial picture and how it affects the rest of your life. And he just has really interesting insight in how you should be managing your finances. And these are not the kinds of things that you're probably expecting to hear from a financial planner. So without further ado, let's go ahead and talk to Justin. So welcome, Justin. I'm so excited to have you on Brand Tales. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me. I'm really psyched to talk with you today. I've followed you, and I think I know a fair bit about you, so I'm really looking forward to talking with you and getting into it.
Awesome. Yes. And so Justin and I have been in a few mutual groups online. We've been kind of stalking each other a little bit, and we're just now getting to meet, so this is really exciting. So Justin, I'm really interested to hear more about what you do, because I know that financial planning is one of those things that many entrepreneurs don't really touch. I think because they're afraid of it, and it's definitely a neglected field for the type of entrepreneurs I work with. So tell me about what you do.
Yeah, absolutely. I think when you hear financial planning, you think like spending, saving, budgeting, like I should be paying down my debt, or I should be saving more for retirement, or I got to put money away for my kids. And that's all good. Like we got to do that. Everyone has to do that. But what I found is that there's this void when it comes to the business money. Like, where do you go for business financial strategies? Your bookkeeper, they do a lot of data entry. Your accountants, you give them your books and they do your taxes. But where do you go to understand your numbers in your business so that once you kind of get your numbers, you can get your numbers. You can get more of those numbers that you want. So in my mind, that's what I think a business owner needs to focus on when it comes to financial planning.
Absolutely. And I mean, I've noticed even in my own business that when I'm not tracking my numbers, I sometimes don't even realize how good things are versus or how where I could be improving. So it's definitely important to keep those metrics. And
For sure.
I noticed that in your bio, you there seems to be a distinction between a financial life planner and a financial planner. Can you tell me about that?
Yeah. A financial planner is someone that's going to do the spending and saving and budgeting and all of those like personal finance things that are important. Mm-hmm. A financial life planner is going to take a look at your life and ask you questions, when we can get into some of those in role play, about what is it about your life that you really want today, not when you're 82. Like the average financial planner is going to tell you to save so you can live the life that you want to when you're 85.
Right.
And I think that's BS. Like, I'm about getting the shoes, getting the latte. Like, there's a lot of gurus out there that are like, no, don't get the latte. I'm like, get the latte, get the massage, get the shoes, take the family on a vacation. It's okay to spend money, because when you do, you're going to be happier, mm-hmm. You're going to be more productive, and as a business owner, you're going to make more money. Then you could take that money, pay down the debt, save for retirement, reinvest back into your business, and what you get is a life that's full, that's enriched for a long period of time, and you're having fun along the way.
Love it. You are my kind of financial guy. Get the latte, get the shoes.
Yeah.
Yes.
For sure.
That's awesome. And it's so true. It seems to be a recurring theme the last couple of weeks, self-care. the more you take care of yourself, the more productive you're going to be, the more you're going to be able to focus on work. And if you're, sometimes I think that with financial planning, when you're focused so much on saving and investing, you're almost putting yourself into a scarcity mindset. Would you agree with that?
Yes. Yeah, that's poverty thinking. I talk a ton about that. Poverty thinking is about lack. It's about scarcity. It's about what won't work out. Prosperity thinking is believing that you can create and manifest the financial life that you want to, but you have to take action. You have to track your numbers, and you have to do different things to get a different result. So, I can give everyone gobs of financial strategies to grow their business and to get clear with their numbers. But if you're not in the right mindset, you're not going to be able to receive that and then act on that.
Right. Absolutely. And what types of business owners are you primarily working with?
Well, I have one-on-one clients that do sales of, let's say, between 500 and 2 million. And then I have a group coaching program, which is for just a six-figure business owner that's just kind of, they've established themselves, but they know that they're wearing 82 hats and they have no time, and they're doing the same thing and they're not really growing, and they're not quite sure about their money, and they just feel stuck. So I serve two different, and most of them I focus on women business owners. I don't know why, it's happened that way.
No complaints, right? So tell me about the moment that you decided that you wanted to start a business.
Well, I think, for me, and I think this will resonate with everyone, think about a time where your life just turned on a dime, where you felt like there was one thing in your life where it just shifted and you knew that you wanted to do something different. Now, for me, it was a time when our nation just stopped. It was 9/11. I was in Los Angeles at the time, and there were people that were, back east that were way more affected and more impacted than I was. Like, I was in LA, but I worked at the World Trade Center. I worked on the 83rd floor for Morgan Stanley, and had I decided to stay there, I don't know what would have happened. And I just realized that there was a big void in my life because I was a financial advisor at a big firm, making good money. I had the corner office and everything, but I wasn't getting what I call a return on life. I wasn't, really happy with my life, and wasn't using my money in the way and my skills in a way where I think I could make an impact. So I left and started my own business. And again, 9/11 was, I'm just a small dot on the radar. There were people that were way more affected than me, but that was a moment that changed my life.
Wow. Yeah. And I feel like that's a story that I hear over and over again, like having the corner office, working to where you were reaching your goals in your career, and then realizing that you could be making such a much bigger impact on like following your passion. And it takes courage to do that. So how was that for you, making that leap into entrepreneurship?
It was scary and hard, but I did it anyway. But I also hemmed and hawed for 5 years. I mentally was stuck in my job, and I did nothing. But as soon as I made that decision, it was like, I wasn't looking back. I was only looking forward. It was scary, but I did it anyways. And I've learned that just in the last few years, instead of ready, aim, fire, I'm becoming more of a ready, fire, aim. And that's served me. I mean, that doesn't mean that you can't think things through. But for me, the way that I'm wired, I can get into this analysis paralysis, and it's not good for me.
Right. Yeah. And that's, again, another thing that you hear over and over again is that analysis paralysis. So tell me, what was your dream when you started your business, and has it changed?
Yeah, my dream was really to help people with their lives. And like an example of that was, financial life planning. I just worked with a lady who was single. She wanted to be a mom. She tried insemination, right? She tried IVF 3 times. We worked on a whole financial plan to just afford that. Wow. And then we created a new plan to where she could adopt a kid. And we exercised her stock options. She had a side business as well, where we kind of hunkered down and paid off some debt and got a plan to save money for this adoption. And ultimately she did it. And she wrote a check and went through to an attorney and adopted a kid. And to me, that was like amazing for me to deliver to someone a life, a kid, a just an experience and a change in who she is. And then I see her on Facebook and with her son. To me, that was like, wow, like, oh my God, I can do that and just help someone with their life and money.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
That's
And that was, it's such a good feeling.
right.
But then what happened is I got into working with women business owners and they're like, oh my God, I've been looking for you. Like, I've been looking for someone like you because the financial strategies, I'm not getting that. And then I really helped people grow and where they could have control on their growth. Because if you're an employee, there's only so much you can do. But if you're a business owner, you can really just call your own shots and do what you want.
Right.
And everyone started making really good progress and growing their business and getting clear and, finding time for themselves. And that was like, wow, like, I'm like, this is it. Like, I love my life and my work. And I'm lucky. Really, I'm lucky now that I found something that makes me happy.
I love that. I'm getting goosebumps because I can just hear the passion, and now the financial life planner makes total sense because it's beyond the business. It's really creating a financial space where you can have whatever you want, and that's really exciting. So, have you ever had a moment in your business that was kind of like an epic fail?
I knew you were going to ask that question. Yes, and it has to do with email spoofing or like email hacking. So I was in Hawaii over Thanksgiving with my family, and I wake up in the morning and I look at my my inbox, and I check email once in a while, and I got like 400 emails from people with the reply, and it said RE document. And in the body of the emails, they started saying, like, did you send this? Is this from you? And I looked down, and I'm like, oh my God, my email got hacked.
Oh, no.
So I was with Google, and I called them, and they said, no, your email didn't get hacked. It got spoofed. And I'm like, well, what is spoofing? So basically, it's when someone pretends to send emails from your domain, and they just send them all out. And I was like beside myself. And to keep it short, this happened 3 times. 3 times to a bunch of people, 4,000 contacts. So I obviously I had to leave Google and get with a different hosted exchange server and all that. But in doing this, I learned a ton about email deliverability if you have an email list. And the first thing is what I didn't even know is that my domain was on a blacklist because I was supposedly spamming people 3 times, like 12,000 people got this. It was ridiculous. And I learned a ton about email deliverability, and it took me a while to make my domain have a better reputation because the email service.
How did you get back from that?
Yeah, so
Like,
the
what
email
did you
service
do?
they know that you're on a spam thing, so you're on a blacklist. So I had to get my email off of a blacklist. Then I had to wait like 2 or 3 weeks and not email anyone, and then I had to go back and I had to look at. And by the way, I didn't know that my email was on a blacklist until I started seeing like that my open rates were 5%. I'm like, this is crazy. People open my stuff. So what I had to do is I waited 2 or 3 weeks. Then I started segmenting my email list. I took all of the people that actually have been opening and reading my stuff, and I just emailed to them for about 4 to 5 weeks. Just we'll call it the A's. So I started emailing to them, just like I picked a small group, like 500 people. And I got my open rate from 5% back to 20, 30, 40%. Then what the email service providers see is they see that the open rate's better. They see your domain reputation is better. So I funneled more people into those A's, tried to keep the same open rate, started emailing to them. My reputation got better. And the engagement that they have is either they have to open your email, reply to it, move it to a folder. But if they just click delete and don't consume it in a certain way, the email service providers know that. And they'll delay or put your email into spam. And imagine if you just send people email, they're like, I never got it. Did you check your spam box? Oh, there it is. I mean, like, that was Groundhog Day for me. So I had to send all of the A's, get all of the A's going. Then I slowly did the B's and got the B's going. And now I have an open rate of 25 to 35% with a smaller list because I've scrubbed my list. Because if you keep mailing to the C's and D's, the people that never open it, your open rates will go down to the A's and B's because the email service providers see that.
Right.
So you have to be very, very clear and careful that you want an email list that actually engages and consumes your stuff. It's much better to have 1,000 people engaging your stuff than 10,000 people where 9,000 are sort of engaging it and they're not really doing much, and then 1,000 are, but those 1,000, your emails won't reach them if they're part of that big group.
Right. And
so,
this is a good lesson for anyone, just to understand that, a big list is not necessarily the best. You want to make sure that it's a responsive list. And then, that's just, even if you haven't been spoofed or haven't had some kind of trouble like that, it's a great way for you to kind of re-engage your list and build up your reputation so you can get a higher open rate in general.
Yeah. And then
you can do that anyway, right? Like,
absolutely. You can take the C's and D's, upload them to Facebook as a custom audience, retarget them, have them re-opt into your list, move them over to the A's. There's tons of different stuff that you can do to re-engage people. A lot of people also are not sure, should I do single opt-in? Should I do double opt-in? Mm-hmm. I do single opt-in, and I ask for a double opt-in. And if they don't double opt-in, I'll create a campaign to get them to double opt-in. Mm-hmm. Because if you're on Infusionsoft or Ontraport or MailChimp is a double opt-in, but if you're on some email service or email marketing people, if you have a double opt-in list, the IP address that Infusionsoft, for instance, will send it from has a better deliverability rate mm-hmm. than an IP address with a single opt-in list. Mm-hmm. So why not create a campaign to get people to double opt-in, which will ultimately improve your deliverability, blah, blah, blah. Again, I had no idea about any of this until my email got spoofed. And I was like on the beach drinking a Mai Tai in Hawaii.
That's awful. But good lesson. Thank you so much for sharing that.
Absolutely.
So if you were to go back in time to when you started, what advice would you give yourself now?
Well, this is good because it's right up your alley. It's about branding and marketing. And I still make this mistake now, but I catch myself and I'm like, okay, rubber band, like, stop doing this. Is, in consulting and in teaching and advising, I have a habit of giving people what they need when it comes to marketing. Mm-hmm. And especially when it comes around money, it's a very, very hard thing to go out and promote and market and create a brand around what people need. Like, people don't want to hear that they, need to track their P&L. They don't really want to hear that they need twice as much life insurance or that they need, change accountants or something like that. What they want is more freedom to make more money, to make an impact, and to have a work-life balance. And I learned that the hard way. I marketed and branded a ton about what people needed. Mm-hmm. And that was a big, big mistake. You've heard that expression. I'm sure you do it. And you're, give them what they want and then what they need. Do you find that to be the case?
Yes, you have to. And sometimes it's really hard to get the wording around what they want because you think it sounds like everyone else.
Yeah, and I've learned, to survey people, to take their questions, ask questions, take their answers, literally write them down mm-hmm. and use it in your copy. That's a nugget that I'm sure you do all the time.
Thank you so much for sharing that, because that's exactly what I do. Whenever I'm going to sell a program, I interview someone. So I do a survey, and I for like big picture pieces, and then I interview someone, and literally that interview becomes the sales page.
Yeah.
Because there's no better way to capture the language.
Yes. And as business owners or maybe as guys, maybe it's just a guys thing, but like we go in and we think we know everything and we just like, we're going to throw this shit. Well, sorry, we're going to throw this up.
That's all right. We're not on real radio.
We're going to throw it up and we're going to see what happens. And like, you gotta think about the copy and the messaging. And so I do that more now. I wish I would have done that earlier. And the results show that when I ask people questions, I use their copy and what they say, and I put it up, it converts better.
Yes, absolutely. That is really good advice. And I hope everyone wrote that one down, because that was gold right there.
Thank you.
We can be done now. No, I'm kidding.
Okay.
So let's take things a little off business for a couple minutes. So mm-hmm. Tell me, what hobbies do you have? What do you enjoy doing in your off time?
meditating. It's the best thing. I started doing it about like 8 or 9 years ago. And for me, it gives me a sense of a way to clear my mind, a way to gather my thoughts, a way to rest, and a way to have like a clean slate. Just in the middle of the day, if it's a crazy day or something's not going well, I could meditate and I can come out of it and just feel better. So meditation is big. And I'm the kind of person where I was like, oh, meditating, like I can't sit still for like 30 seconds. Like, what am I going to do? So for the first 6 months, I totally resisted it, and I did the meditation where it's not guided, where it's not like close your eyes and listen and relax your feet, then relax your, like your calves.
Right.
The soft sensations going all the way up your body. Like, no, it's where you put the headphones on, you listen to different brain waves, and you can think about anything. And then ultimately you shut down and you begin to observe yourself and see yourself resisting, letting go. And then after about 6 months, I did it and it was amazing. So meditation for one. And then for me, it's exercising, really running. I love to run. And there are a few sports here and there. And then it's time with my family and my wife and kids.
That's awesome. I love your journey to meditation because I feel like that's really common. We hear about it, but the thought of, being able to relax and sit down for that amount of time, especially when you're a business owner.
Yeah.
So that's.
But there's an interesting thing about that, Holly, is that we think that we have to speed up in order to speed up, but you really have to slow down in order to speed up. Because if you slow down and you create a sense of just time to refresh and recharge, you're going to have a better productive day than had you not done something that recharged yourself.
Right. Goes back to buying that latte.
Yeah, for sure.
And so what, do you have any non-business talents that you could share?
Oh my God. Non-business talents. Well, I got one, but I got to think if there's anything else that I'm really talented on. You know what? Let's talk about Italy, because I love Italy.
Okay.
Yeah. I speak Italian.
Awesome.
I lived there for a few years. I love to cook. That's my non-business talent, is I love to cook. I'm not an amazing cook, but like I love to cook. I love to entertain. I think it's a great way to connect and meet people. And I love like a good glass of wine and a great meal. I guess I'm a little bit of a foodie, but that's my thing, is like I love Italy. I've lived there. I love Europe, and I guess my talent would be doing a little bit of cooking, and I don't know. That's it. I probably have more. Yeah.
That's good. You're talking to a fellow foodie. I totally get that.
Yeah.
So what was your favorite thing about Italy?
I think it's the way that people live there and their life, where, they take the siestas. They're not rushing. They have a long meal. They go for a long walk. They spend a lot of time doing nothing on Sundays and Saturdays. They just relax over the weekend. And I think they're just passionate in general. They're passionate about pretty much, they're always like this and, always with their hand gestures. They're passionate about that. And I think that's really important, is to find something that we all really, that light us up. And for me, it's traveling as well. Like, I love to travel. Yeah, that's a skill. I'm skilled as in I love to travel. So who doesn't?
Skills, passion, same thing.
Yeah. Don't you
awesome.
travel?
Oh, I love to travel. I've been to Italy. And yeah, I went on a cruise once from Spain to Italy to Greece to Egypt, and Malta. And that was probably the best time of my life. It was amazing.
Wow. That's really cool. Awesome. I know where Malta is. Malta is in the middle of nowhere. It's major south.
Oh my gosh, it's amazing though. It is hands down the most beautiful place I've been.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Would definitely go back. And I actually have a friend that lives on Malta, so I may have to go visit him. So, what do you do when you want to celebrate a big win in your business?
I'll probably post it in a mastermind that I'm in, call my wife, text a friend, and what I do sometimes, what I need to do a little bit more of is hold the space to just be like, okay, something went really well. Just remember this moment that can be replicated.
Right.
And when you do have a big win, your confidence is really, really high. So why not leverage that confidence and go out and make that phone call to someone or do something that you've been like dreading to do?
Yes, that is a fantastic tip. That I think I might have to adopt that one.
Yeah. Yeah. Cool.
Awesome. So I have a couple kind of oddball questions that I ask everyone at the end.
Yeah.
And so if your talents, and we're talking business talents this time, so if your business talents were superpowers, what would they be?
I think this is okay. So this is not the other question that I. What's your other one? Because I want to make sure I answer the right one. You have one more, right?
Not in regards
Fairy
to.
tale.
Oh
Fairy.
yes, if you wanted to be, if you're going to be a fairy tale character, what would you be? They could be the same.
Yeah, in business, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would be Peter Pan, and the reason why I'd be Peter Pan is because he's all about adventure and fun and doing, and of course he's like kind of like a kid, and like
Yeah.
I love jokes, I love practical jokes, I love having fun. I want everyone to enjoy life now. So why can't we do that with our business? And I see a lot of business owners struggling, not having fun and enjoying what they're doing. So for me, like I guess you could say I'm kind of like the Peter Pan of business stuff. I just believe that sense of adventure, even traveling is like, and just being that little kid
Mm-hmm.
in life. We can always be little kids,
I
and
love that.
that's really that's what drives me.
And after talking to you for during this interview, I can totally see that. It's
Yeah,
almost like having your business is what allows you to be a kid again.
yeah. I have a juice box and a couple of burp clots right by my desk, and if you don't believe me, I have a bit.
TMI, TMI.
Yeah, no, but like we gotta play, and I think that's what people. I think that people want more of that, and people are looking for an outlet to do that, and it's really about surrounding yourself with the right people, growth friends, positive people, and doing the things in your business that are your unique ability.
Right. I have to share this because one of the big passions I have in my business and why I started was to connect people back to that feeling of being able to do anything. Like when you were a kid, like just, I want to be a firefighter when I grow up, like just having a passion and just wanting to go for it. So I totally relate to that. I love it.
Yeah,
And what is your guilty pleasure?
my guilty pleasure, probably coffee. Sticking with the Italy theme, like I like import coffee. I love coffee.
Mm-hmm.
I was gonna say chocolate, but like the kind of coffee that I drink has this like chocolatey taste,
Yep.
this espresso. So I'm gonna say coffee. Like I love coffee.
Awesome.
Yeah.
My husband's a coffee snob, so he would totally get that. It's got like the
How about
crema
you?
on top.
Yeah. How about you? What's your guilty pleasure?
Oh, my guilty pleasure is probably Disney.
Disney. Okay.
On a Sunday afternoon, I am perfectly happy just watching the Disney Channel.
Oh my! Did you watch Teen Beach Movie 2?
No, what this is actually really funny.
My kids are all that one.
I've been seeing the commercials for it, and my husband actually, totally gonna out him on this. This weekend he sits down, he turns on the Netflix. He's like, "Ooh, Teen Beach is on Netflix. I want to watch that so we can watch Teen Beach too." So he's a total nerd too.
Does he wear like a mankini while he watches that?
No. No one wants to see that.
All right. All right.
But yeah, I'll have to make that suggestion. But yeah, that's what I like. Disney Channel.
Cool. Right on.
So what is your favorite business tool?
I think it's Evernote. I mean, it's everyone uses it and everyone knows it, but it's very, very simple. I just got the iPhone 6 Plus,
Mm-hmm.
so from the 5, and I'm seeing myself. I'm just using it more. I'm like, okay, I got it. How am I going to write down? And I'm like, you know what? Just go to Evernote. Just start adding the notes in there, and you can sync it everywhere. So for me, it's been Evernote.
I love that. I actually don't use Evernote, so I haven't
Yeah.
quite integrated that yet. I use Dropbox though. It's almost the same.
Oh, I like that one too. Yeah.
And how about your favorite business book?
My favorite business book. Can I actually get it and show it to everyone? Because I
Sure.
have it right here. All right, hang on. Okay. It's called U Squared, and it's by Price Pritchett, and it's called A High Velocity Formula for Multiplying Your Personal Effectiveness in Quantum Leaps. Now, you hear that word quantum leaps, effectiveness, you're like, oh my God, what's he talking about? It's going to be like brain science or whatever. But this stuff is so good. I felt like this book was written for me. It's a lot of what we talked about today, and it's called U Squared. U Squared.
Oh, wow.
It's a great book.
And where did you find that book? Because I've never heard of it.
I was in a mastermind, and they handed it out, and it's like, okay, it's like, are you a Lord of the Rings fan?
Oh, yes.
Okay, it's like Gandalf is like coming down and talking to me, and he's got his staff with his hat and the white beard. He's like, read this book, read this, like, and it's just like little nuggets. And sometimes, you know, when you like, you go to an event or you're like, okay, that's the one thing that I needed to hear. Well, there are 1 things that you need to hear in this that I just can't say enough about. And the book is like, I think it's like $10 or something. Yeah.
Awesome.
All right. That's my plug.
Awesome. And to everyone, thank you so much for joining us again this week. Please, if you feel so inclined to post a review on iTunes, we would really appreciate it. We do read every single one. And also make sure that you subscribe on iTunes and check out the resources on the blog. Oh, and I forgot, we will post Justin's URL for his website. And do you have a free offer on your site as well?
Yeah. They can just go to cranefinancialsolutions.com. It's a long one, but it's KRANE financialsolutions.com.
Perfect. And we'll be posting that URL to make sure that everyone gets it right.
Awesome.
All right. So have an awesome day, everyone, and we will see you next week.